course, we have our commentators on hand waiting. It's going to be Leafex and Lawler. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Golden. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. We got huge rosters for both teams, and I know before we've seen Crown and Jewels and the RLC sub out mid-matches. They can't do this. Whatever they start off with, they have to play through this match. So it's going to be interesting. I know that was a strategy they used that worked before. Do you think RG is going to be able to pull through with such a strong roster?
Like Gibbs was saying, I mean, Tilt is possibly going to be an issue. I mean, this Crown and Jewels team is very, very strong. You show the fact that they were able to take RLC, but a roster change could spell a little bit differences, but they seem to be consistent. I mean, Killer number 7 is a very, very good player. Like they were saying, expect him to be the glue of this game. Expect him to make a name out here. It's going to be a good series, but I mean, I hate to do the prediction. Probably 2-0.
It very well could be, but there are players we got to watch out for. I know I've seen Dad and Seeks play before. If they're coming in, it looks like we got Reganom actually coming in instead of Rio probably. So it's a roster I haven't seen them play with yet myself. So I'm interested. This is going to be a good hype match. Yeah, Tilt Fest is not something that you want to be dealing with at all. Crown and Jewels are the ones that could make them tilt, that's for sure.
All right, let's get into it, man. I'm excited for these games. Hopefully everybody else is as well.
All right, on the floor, starting us on the kickoffs, we got Seeks and Killer number 7. Once again, with those Octanes, definitely cars you want to be using on those kickoffs. Let's see who's going to win it and set their team up for success off the beginning. The ball flying into the net already. 2-second goal. Not the quickest I've seen, but definitely not the slowest I've seen.
Man, that's rough. I mean, Seek's just getting a good power hit out of that Dominus. But that ball hitting that top, that ceiling, it makes it really hard to predict when those shots are going to land.
Crossbar shots.
Real tough.
Yeah, crossbar shots are something that's very, very hard to defend against on the kickoff. Now Yeezy with ball possession, flipping that over one of the attackers, leaving Panda with a shot. Seeks easy clear to the far side of Orange's zone. A nice touch from Blue. They're playing it back and forth. Let's see if they can keep that going. Still haven't lost ball possession. The ball's up in the air. A shot coming from Regadam. That's going to go back to their own zone. Data in a good spot to touch that very high-flying game we have already in the first half minute of play. Seeks with a long shot. That Dominus power shot. The placement was good, but Yeezy gets a good touch to push it to the side.
Man, I'd like to see the patience out of this Crown and Jewels team. They're not overcompensating for what this defense and this aerial game has been. They're taking their time, recognizing that we're getting beat a little bit in these aerials, but don't make the mistakes and put us out of placement.
Yeah, we're having Blue team start to put some great pressure on the net. They've already up a goal. They're looking for another one. We'll see if they can sink one as Crown and Jewels tries to fight to keep it out of their zone.
Man, it's great. You see Killer number 7, he's actually going to go for a block, and immediately after, Yeezy's getting ready in position to play that field up. It's really, really smart play. These guys, you can tell, are starting to get the synchronization going through.
But the shot, oh my goodness, almost got a tip off of Yeezy's nose. They're still fighting to drop one into the net to tie up this game. Crown and Jewels now getting some great passing plays. Killer number 7 trying to roll that one up the wall. Going to get touched by Seeks back to their zone, but Panda's there to connect with it. And now Team Crown and Jewels on the attack.
Yeah, Yeezy, it looks like he's going to do whatever he can to play this back out. He's actually using the wall to pinch that. For those that don't know, it's when you put your ball and you hit it up against the wall, it creates kind of a squeezing motion on the ball and allows it to launch it downfield. So these guys using that to their advantage when sometimes a direct approach is not going to work.
Pinches are a skill you definitely want to have in your repertoire. But now, Crown and Jewels trying to get this out of their zone. Yeezy with a touch, the contest from RG. That's going to keep it in Orange's zone. Killer number 7 missing that block, and that's going to roll over Panda, but the stop halfway in the net, and that's going to get finished off by Raganam.
Man, that's got to be rough, and that's good. I mean, he made an attempt. That's a hard read, being in that 1v1 position, not showing how to predict where that ball is going to go, and he reads it very well, just getting a rough touch, and it's hitting that crossbar, keeping that ball in the net for this blue team.
Shots definitely in favor for RG at the moment. They're definitely proving any of our predictions wrong. This so far in the game, still 2.5 minutes left, reaching that halfway point as Crown and Jewels tries to get out of their zone. They don't want any more goals going in, and this is an attack for them. Could roll up the wall for a good setup. Yeezy's not able to get a touch on that as that flies right back down to their zone. RG getting those boost fills to start some more high-flying shots onto the net. Almost a touch there from Seeks. That's going to bounce around as he now has a 1v1, but Killer number 7 is going to stuff that opportunity.
Man, this RG team is surprising me with how good this pressure has been. They actually seem to be beating Crown and Jewels up to the ball, and keeping this possession game actually a majority of the time on Crown and Jewels' side is what they need to do. If they're going to beat this team, they need to keep this up.
Yeah, that's definitely something that is going to be in their favor. If they're going to be able to get up to the ball way quicker than Crown and Jewels, that's going to throw them off kilter a little bit, and they may have to think going into the second game if they don't take this one. Another shot in front of the net. Seeks with the finish. These balls are bouncing off the crossbar like no one's business.
Man, Seeks, I was afraid for a second there that he was actually going to put that one back out, hitting the back of his car, but I'm glad that ball worked in his favor. These guys are putting on a clinic.
Killer number 7 almost got the save with the top of that Octane there, but that powerful Dominus just crushing it right past him. Now on the kickoff, Seeks again. Yeezy almost winning that one. The good cheat from Data keeps that at midfield. A pass over to Reganam. That could be a shot, and that's it. Great passing play.
And just kind of break that down. So you have this ball rotate out. Yeezy doesn't get the touch that he wants to, and allows Data to play that back in the middle. Reganam with the sweeping motion coming to the outside, just waiting perfectly for that shot. Really good pass play out of this RG team.
We're going to see who can win this kickoff. 4-0 with 2 minutes left in the match in favor of RG. They are showing up to this game. They're doing a very, very good job of sinking balls into the net, trying to get another one as Orange pushes out. Good opportunity for them. It looks like Panda almost beat him to that one. He's going to get beat out. Ball dropping to mid. Seeks with a touch to throw it back to Orange's zone. Off the corner in front of the net. Good defensive rotation from Crown and Jewels is going to keep that moving in their favor. Up on the wall is Violent Panda.
Man, that was a really good demo actually coming out by Seeks. Showing that being on their side, that demo gives them roughly 3 seconds roughly, having a 2 to 3 advantage on that possession. Something that we don't see used enough and is becoming more and more common, especially in the EU scene. I hope we see more teams take that advantage.
Yeah, this Octane Dominus, and that's actually one of the ones I've always been in favor of, but now Yeezy with a breakaway, and he takes a shot to put them on the scoreboard. Minute left.
You can tell that this this RG team is putting in some pressure, and the thing they need to be careful of is despite that pressure, if they do get a long clear that Crown and Jewels have been struggling with a little bit here, you're going to see those breakaways happen when you have that many players pushed up.
That's precisely, and back to what I was saying, again, I've always loved this Octane Dominus mix-up. I think it allows for some very good plays, and I love to see teams mixing up their cars. It's very nice to see Crown and Jewels now trying to keep this ball out of their zone. The pressure coming hard in the last minute of gameplay from RG. They're not giving up yet. They're not playing complacent. They want some more goals in that net. Killer number 7 with a shot, almost a really good angle. Yeezy trying to follow that one up. Violent Panda on the good midfield rotation to keep the pressure on and into RG's zone. But now Data trying to do some fancy stuff to follow up by Reganam to keep that into Orange's zone.
And Crown and Jewels starting to put on the pressure that I expected out of them. But with 20 seconds left, I think they're going to have a really rough time bringing this one back. They know they can work some magic here, hopefully, but this pressure is still relentless from the RG squad, keeping it up and giving themselves the opportunity of putting themselves in a good position at the end of this game.
Yeah, it's a little late in the game, probably for that. Both teams are going to keep fighting until this countdown stops with 2 seconds left. A 4-1 in favor of RG, a shot and almost a goal from Yeezy as he tries to clip that off the top of his head. They're not giving up. They're going to keep this ball moving. I would like to see a shot on net if they could here off the crossbar, and that's going to get dropped down by RG. And RG is going to take it 4-1 in game 1 of this match. Shots fairly even, but Team RG definitely doing an amazing job of putting that pressure on. And I feel like Crown and Jewels is definitely thrown off kilter on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you look at those shots that came out. I mean, they had an aggression of 11 shots, and you don't see as many stats coming out on Data. Data is actually the glue of the team. He's the support player. He's the guy that's supposed to just fill in the cracks, and he's doing a very good job. That's what's allowing those rotations to happen. So I hope they can keep that up. I really hope they do give Crown and Jewels for money and prove my point wrong.
Yeah, we see almost every goal assisted for Team RG, which means a lot of team players are coming out. Very high-flying game, as I mentioned earlier in the game, and they kept it up. They're getting up quick. I think Crown and Jewels definitely has to get to the air a little quicker, if you ask me. Yeah. So we'll see if they can do that going into game 2. What do you predict from this match?
You know, if this RG team can keep up doing what they're doing, it's going to be pretty exciting to see if they can keep up that momentum. But, I mean, you look at this killer number 7, all of them and the rest of the crowd have some very, very strong tags in their name. So don't count them out just yet. They might strike back with a vengeance.
Very true. On the kickoff, killer number 7 and Seeks with a good cheat from Data, but that ball's going to fly deep into blue zone. Already on the attack is Crown and Jewels, looking to make a very strong start to this match. Yeezy not able to win that contest. Seeks going to throw it down to Orange's zone as killer number 7 moves back. The demo, very good there. It's going to allow Crown and Jules to start an offensive attack here. Let's see if they can get a quick early goal 20 seconds into this match.
Man, it's rough seeing him miss that shot for Crown and Jules. He had an opportunity to put a screamer on that net and just barely missed it. That might spell trouble, though, with Data pushing up. You just never know how much pressure these guys can apply when you see big clears like that. Really well played.
Ball maybe making up front. RG Seeks with a very good stop there. Out to the middle, says Blue, but that's going to fly back into their zone. A good shot coming out from killer number 7. Very good car control to get that ball right in the center. The ball still in the slot, going to get touched to the side by RG. Reganov now with a clear opportunity, but Yeezy going to beat him to the touch. Killer number 7 in a bad spot. The bump coming out. Reganov now with an open net, and that bump very critical in that.
Man, bumps underutilized in this game, but you look at it here, bumping Violent out of the way and actually hits another player. We get a domino effect that leads that goal wide open, and Violet Panda having to follow that up. Man, that's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, you definitely, we mentioned it before, getting bumped or demoed is not a fun experience. It definitely puts you in a bad mindset, but hopefully Crown and Jules can keep their heads on their shoulders and move forward. They're only down 1 goal and only a minute of gameplay into this. Another demo coming out, this time from Yeezy onto Data. Looked like he was a little frustrated with that bump. And we'll see demos everywhere. Yeezy going ham on everybody. They want to get a goal into the net. This could be opportunity. Yeezy almost with a goal, a good passing play.
Man, you need to make those shots, especially when that pass is right on net. You need to get that tap to put your team back in this. I know we're only a minute and a half through, but those shots are going to be crucial when it comes down to the end here.
Yeezy and Violent Panda in a good spot to set up a play. Nice touch from Yeezy to keep it in the corner. Let's see if his teammates can follow it up. It's not going to happen. It's going to fly back to midfield. The ping pong is real at the moment. Violent Panda touching that one first, followed up by killer number 7. That's on target, but Seeks is going to get a nice, easy clear back. Killer number 7 reading that. The pass is out, but Yeezy back for a boost grab is going to have to make a save here, and Data stuffs it.
Gosh, you got to be careful with those shots, and I'm going to pick you apart on this one. This pass back up lofted, set a perfect pass up for this RG Regnum, and slammed that shot in. Those things you cannot do at this level of play, because players like RG are going to capitalize on it. I mean, that's stuff that you can't afford to do.
Yeah, Data definitely got to dunk some extra style points from on that one, coming from the ball coming from behind him. Let's see, though, if they can keep this game low scoring for Crown and Jules. Another passing play. The touch almost coming from Data, but that one getting touched to midfield by Crown and Jules. Killer number 7 and Yeezy now with an opportunity. Violent Panda out trying to get a nice pass. Still kept in by killer number 7. Good pressure coming from Crown and Jules. They're just not getting any of those scoring opportunities they need, but this could be it. The ball was in front of the net, but it gets touched the wrong angle, giving RG Seeks an opportunity to put it back to midfield. Another demo coming out for Orange, and that shot's on net. Seeks the defensive prowess he has.
Man, you see both players on that RG team using both double jump mechanic and boost to get up to that ball super quick.
A shot on net. Yeezy with a nice placement. No one was getting to that. No one was in net as Seeks goes for that boost grab.
Man, sometimes getting up early and quick, like I was saying, isn't enough, because that shot was a screamer put in that back top right corner. Very well placed. It's rough, man. I mean, you do some things, and it's just rotations always seem to trump it.
That's the first one on the scoreboard in this best of 3, though, for Crown and Jules. They're looking to keep this game closer, as we thought it probably would, but they're down still, as we didn't think it would happen, as RG looks to take this at a 2-0, still 2-1. 2 minutes left in the match, lots of time. Data trying to set that one up for Seeks. Seeks, a little bit of a whiff on that, but Data's going to carry it down. Yeezy with a contest to keep that in blue zone, but now we're flying down. The dominant shot keeps that moving hard. Stuck around midfield, no team able to really push it past each other. Now Crown and Jules looking for a setup. They're about to get it, but Seeks intercepts that one. Yeezy not going to finish it off. Seeks with another good touch, going close to the net, but not on target. Push to the side, a breakaway opportunity for Violent Panda to get the pass over to killer number 7. But that double touch from RG keeps that from going in front of the net. It is back in front of the net. The block from Seeks, killing it in net at the moment.
Man, these rotations and communication coming out has been fantastic. These guys are doing and filling every gap that is possible, and that's applying to both teams, not only Crown and Jules and RG. It's just you see it a little bit better on RG. With shots like this, they need to clear them out, though, otherwise it's going to spell trouble. But look at this. Data's going to take the pace completely on his own and give his opportunity that exact setup that they're looking for. Just unfortunate that killer number 7 read it out of the way.
And if you hear us talking about those bad Spider-Mans, that was a very good Spider-Man clear coming out of Crown and Jules there. That's the way you want to do it. Yeezy with a shot, and that's going to almost be a net. Data once again there to save the day. Off the wall comes Crown and Jewels players, they're trying. The pressure is real. 40 seconds left in this match. We'll see if they can get a shot on net. That is bouncing towards. The onslaught is real at the moment. There is no stopping for them. Killer number 7 now having to backtrack to make sure this ball doesn't go back in front of the net. 1 goal away, 30 seconds left in the match. This ball is high up in the air. Yeezy getting the clear, the pass to Panda. Panda putting that a little off target. It's gonna roll up the net. No one's from Crown and Jewels able to get a touch, and that's gonna go off the backboard. No one to follow it up from Reganom though. That could be it there though. Panda barely able to keep that out. They are fighting to stay alive. The pressure is still real from RG. This could be it if this ball touches. This could be a shot from Reganom, getting the second touch, almost carrying that one in. And this ball still in the air. Could go any way. A shot on net. Violent Panda gonna try to follow this up.
No way.
There's a shot on net. That's gonna push to the side. Yeezy trying to keep it alive. Seeks letting that one drop. And that's gonna be it. The 2-0 for RG. Did you see this coming?
No, I actually called the complete opposite. Now I feel like a fool. So thanks, guys. RG, really good job. You guys played very, very well. One of those things that this is the time to show that you are going to make a name for yourself. So really well played. I hope you guys keep this pressure up because it's pretty good, man.
The entire cast recruit looks like sleeping on RG, and we apologize. We're going to see what the analyst desk has to say. Golden Boy, let's see what you have to say.
Thank you so much. And wow, definitely did not expect that. I mean, when you hear the name Crown and Jewels, you think Rocket League Central Pro League champions, right? Of course, different roster, but still, like, the name, Killer, like everyone on the team comes with them a certain kind of experience and expectation, I would imagine, from a lot of the fans. RG though, coming in huge. Game 1, I mean, they get that first goal in 2 seconds into the game, right? And then after that, it was the RG Esports show, which is pretty awesome. Gibbs, what are your thoughts?
So you can't tilt if you don't let the other team score. And that's basically what RG did. They just played amazing, like 11 shots to 5. That was really impressive. Plus, I like that they don't really rotate. They actually do the 2-1 setup more, and they had Data just sitting back. I think he was like sipping tea. I think that's what Europeans do, right? They sip tea back there. He didn't do much the first game because the two up front were just amazing.
It's not a tactic you see very frequently. You really don't see that anymore. People like that aggressive rotational play. That way you can stay in the opposing half a little bit longer. But RG, those two guys that were going up, Data was staying back. He let his two teammates up, and they were like working well with each other. And it was also more, I don't want to take it away from that, but Crown and Jewels wasn't handling it as well as they could have.
They looked really off. They had a lot of bad defensive touches, and Violent Panda especially, he was not good that first game at all.
Yeah, but he dare I say he wasn't a violent panda.
I'm out, guys.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from game number 1. Some of the big plays that came from that, because there were a lot of really good moments there. This was the first play, came immediately after.
That's a savable ball though. That it's hard because it's going off the ceiling, but you have to make that save in this big spot. Here again, you got to clear that ball, and then they bump each other in the net.
That's the part that I was like really shocked with, that they just kind of flooded it, and then everyone was like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And they just could not figure it out.
No matter how much skill you have, there's still panic moments. Everyone kind of falls into them, but you really got to minimize that. It's a little different because this is probably the most high-stakes tournament anyone's ever been in, and this is actually what's really cool to see some of these teams react to that. They're all going to play maybe a little bit different. We saw a lot of kind of what we expected yesterday at NA. But there could be some very different things. Some people do better under pressure and some do worse.
But one thing, though, I do want to highlight is, in talking to you guys while the game was going on, you had mentioned that the talent pool, the talent of these players, it just runs very deep, right? So a team like RG, who is ranked 16 in the community power rankings, actually can contest with a squad such as Crown and Jewels, who's ranked number 5 in the community power rankings. So I guess, what is very interesting for me is to see how EU is basically going to be like anyone's ball game, in my opinion. I mean, of course, Weedham Girls I think everyone's looking at them to be like one of the best, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see more upsets.
Oh yeah, there'll be a lot more upsets because the first game, SARP, had a lot of European players, so they all came back for this one, and they're all spread apart between all these different teams, and they get a lot of practice because they're playing a ton against each other. And say it was North America, you probably don't see a 16 team beating a 5. But in Europe, there's going to be a lot more upsets. Yeah,
in NA, you definitely see a lot more consistency with the top teams. Maybe the top 5 tend to, they usually stick up there for a long time until there's a big roster break. Every now and then there's the big shuffle that happens in a lot of esports. But with, like you said, with EU, it's so deep. I mean, we just saw what was the number 15,
16.
number 16 take out of 5. Like in NA, that's like a once in a blue moon. But in EU, it's surprising, but it's not like whoa.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. And of course, game 2, discussing this. This was a lot closer, obviously. The score ended 2-1. Very scary as well at the end there. It looked like Crown and Jewels were going to try and mount a comeback. But out the break here, you saw an exposed net at the beginning. 4 minutes into the game, or excuse me, 1 minute into the game, gave them that first goal. And then from there, it was kind of just like a continued back and forth until Data was able to put one on the board there. But really, just RG never really felt like they were in a position where they were, I guess, exposed.
Well, Crown and Jewels did wake up for game 2. They played a lot better than game 1. They had better touches, but like RG was on their game today.
They really were, and their counterattacks were very quick. That seemed to be what they got that second goal in. Data got a good dunk when I think it was Panda was stuck in net and not in the best position. I think it might have been Panda. But Data, he's like, oh, well, I see you're not in the best position. And he, instead of just going for the shot, he predicted the block that he was forced into, which is what only like really good players can pull that off. You're going to force the defender to making one touch, like one specific touch, because it's really all he's into, and then you just read that touch. You're like, well, I'm going to be here. You're essentially like a checkmate.
One thing I did notice too was that it never really felt like RG were doing anything insane, like crazy aerials and spinning in the air and getting these, ridiculous angles that we saw yesterday, and we even saw a little bit with Weedham Girls. And I actually really enjoyed that, right? They went there and they just played Hard Knocks Rocket League. They just got into the field and they knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they pushed our advantages. And they were able to get that W, which was huge for them. Do you think that's kind of just like, that's RG in a nutshell?
So the 2-1 setup is actually really good for that because you always know, hey, Data's going to be back all the time. So we can kind of go up and do more things. But the positional game was great, but it was because Crown and Jewels were a little overconfident because they thought that their teammates would get better touches, so they would move up early, and then it would be a poor touch, and then RG capitalizes.
Well, the tough part with when you're playing against a team that always has somebody back, you're never going to get those breakaways that Crown and Jewels excels at. Yeah. Crown and Jewels is very good at like, oh, we get a breakaway. It's in a weird place off the wall. We're going to do an air dribble, air carry it over, get a nice hit. But when there's someone always back on defense to shut that down, you have to take your time a little bit more and make a play that's a little more complicated, a little harder to read.
Well, yeah, Crown and Jewels needed to make more solo plays, like solo dribbles, and I didn't really see any dribbles out of Crown and Jewels this entire match, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, of course, congratulations to RG Esports. They move on. Crown and Jewels will take a trip to the losers bracket, where hopefully they will fight their way out and potentially make it to group stage, maybe get some revenge on RG Esports. It should be a great matchup, though, coming up next, folks. So we are going to see you in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more Rocket League coverage continues live from Burbank Studios. We'll see you in a few.